Ayahuasca ceremonies are about 6 hours.
Ayahuasca ceremonies are 6 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, is there chit
I
chat?
like jaunt.
Is there like chit chat
No,
during
because
it?
you do not want to interfere with someone else's trip.
Wow. Okay.
That's not. You don't
That's
want
not.
that to
That's
happen.
not cool.
So what's
It's against the rules?
Because it's very fragile.
Yeah.
People are in
Uh-huh.
psychosis. People are dying. People are having ego deaths. Like
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
are
really.
seeing their dead loved ones. So people are like unleashing demons that are inside them. You do not want to fuck with someone else's trip or have their trip influence yours. So you like focus on yourself.
Is
Wow.
there a world? So just piggybacking off of that,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
is there a scenario where you're there and you haven't started tripping or your trip has ended and you're just kind of sitting around twiddling your thumbs while everybody else is tripping? Has that ever happened?
I'm really sensitive, so I spend most of the time very high.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So I have not. I want to get. I want to get to a place where I can like. I want to be a helper one day.
Yeah.
But I want to get to a place where I can like witness it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm always in my own world.
Do you have any good stories? Is there one where you've gone there and you woke up
They're
and you
all
were in
good.
Hangover 4 or
Right. Or I mean,
Um,
before we get into any good stories,
Yeah. What about the bad
the
stories?
ultimate question
Every
is, what does it feel like? That's the ultimate unfair question that you have to give your best go.
what
at.
does it feel like?
What does it feel like?
Oh,
I don't know. What do you think? Is there a way that you could just define it?
well, ayahuasca and peyote feel different. They're
Okay.
two
Tell us about
entirely
ayahuasca.
different.
Now.
Ayahuasca feels well, you don't have control of your body.
Really?
No. Or I don't. And you see a lot of things. I see a lot
Yeah.
of things. Not everyone sees visions. I get a lot of visions. And I'm constantly talking to her, grandmother ayahuasca. I'm engaged in a dialogue with
Oh.
this spirit. And I have no control over my body. And she's just taking me places. And I just go with it.
Do you ever walk? Are you literally your body is taken and you walk around? Or
Yeah,
you
it feels
just
like
stay there?
you're being possessed.
Wow.
Wow. Is somebody watching it? Is someone not doing the drug watching you?
The helpers.
The helper.
The helpers are there. I mean, they drink the medicine too,
Okay.
but they don't drink as much.
Okay.
I
And
see.
then they help you. They actually my last ceremony it was the first time I had a hard night. I've been very blessed. She started off very easy on me with really loving, easy nights with
Okay.
beautiful visions and nothing difficult. And this last ceremony was I died. I finally had an ego death. And I did think I was dying. And I needed a helper. And that's the first time I needed help. And they had to take me to another room because I was like having like I was
Oh my
out of
gosh.
control.
What does it feel like to die?
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
How were you dying? Were you like choking? Did it
So-
feel like
Yeah, I felt my organs starting to shut down and I couldn't breathe. And I was seeing really harsh colors. Usually I feel a lot of love. Like the first vision I ever saw from her,
Yeah.
she showed me herself. And it was like this like beautiful like smiling old woman like in a tree. And it was like I just like immediately it was like coming home to your grandmother. And so that had been my relationship with her up to
Yeah.
this point.
Right.
And I like she was always like hugging me and telling me it was going to be okay and telling me like just like always like just taking care of me and making me feel safe and loved.
Yeah.
And this one the medicine hit and it was just like darkness and cold and I was completely alone and everything good was gone and my organs started to shut down and I stopped being able to breathe and I didn't have any control over my body and I couldn't see, so I couldn't like pick up a water or my bucket. I couldn't
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything and I was being like contorted, like my neck was like twisting and
Oh my God.
I just felt like I was totally losing it and yeah, I was just panic. I just panicked.
That would
That's
I'll
unbelievable.
be honest, that would scare the shit out of me.
Well,
That's why
yeah.
oh my
I
God.
would be so scared.
And so what? You just get through it. This too shall pass, and then you
Yeah, well, a
slowly
helper,
recover?
they dragged me into another room because I was like yelping. And
They drag you? They don't even help you up?
Help me up. The helper got me through it. The helper, like, so nothing was like, I no longer was in touch with reality.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so I couldn't, like, I didn't know where I was. I didn't feel my own body. I couldn't see. Like, I literally couldn't see.
Oh my God.
And so I had to keep like grabbing him to like be like, are you, and I kept being like, are you real?
Yeah.
And I grabbed myself. I was like, am I real?
Yeah.
And we were like sitting on a couch. I was like, is this real? That was the only thing that would calm me down, to find out that he
Yeah,
was
of
real
course.
and that this was real. And I
My
just like had
God.
lost, I was just totally in it.
Yeah.
And the medicine works in mysterious ways. And it was just, you know, sometimes fear is just a big thing. I think that we all have to learn how to work with and live with and experience. Like, you just have to acknowledge your fear.
Right.
It was just terrifying, and I was just freaking out. And I came from a very dogmatic traditional space. My education with psychedelics is peyote,
Yeah.
and they're very strict. So I thought I was going to get in trouble for
Oh,
freaking
sure.
out.
Yeah.
But this space is not like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
This space is held. It's just
Free
a different container.
Yeah.
And so, and the medicine, ayahuasca is a lot stronger than peyote. Like, it just, you don't lose control of your body with
Yeah.
peyote. So like he had to hold me up the whole time. He had to like feed me my water. He had to tell me it was going to be okay. He had to tell me the medicine was working. I would not have gotten through that without that man sitting there and like
Yeah.
walking me through it.
Do you have like a memory coming out of that? Because like was there? Do you remember the moment where you're like, all right, I'm okay. I'm not dying.
Yeah. When
Because
it,
that
when
must
it clicked
feel.
in you,
That
Well, I
must
think I
feel
knew
so
I-
fucking good.
Yeah.
I think I knew I wasn't dying because I knew that this happens.
Okay, so like you
Okay.
trust.
Like, I knew that the medicine does that, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is what it's. Oh, now I'm experienced that night. Like, I was
Okay.
like, that night is happening."
Yeah.
But
It doesn't even really matter because it's still happening.
it's just this feeling of terror just consumes you. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
God.
fear,
really.
it's terror. Like, I've never felt that scared in my life. And I think it really was, the medicine really just was feeling that scared.
Yeah.
And then at one point I was like, what am I so afraid of? Like, I kept asking, like, what am I so afraid? What's so scary? And I couldn't get an answer. And it's almost like, yeah, what are you so afraid of?
Yeah.
Like,
That's cool.
nothing.
Let me ask you this, because you've talked about
There's
other
nothing
people
to
having
be afraid of.
Yeah.
other people have had ego deaths. This was your
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
Is this something that you feel like people should go through? Is this something that you're glad you went to? You
Yeah, I
you
mean,
came out of it.
I'm-
You feel like
It's-
you're
I'm a
grown.
medicine bitch. It works for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for everyone.
Okay.
It's not for everyone. You
Yeah.
have to be cool with. You have to be willing to face your shit. Like, at one point, she
Yeah.
literally was like dumped. I say she because it wasn't voluntary movements.
Yeah.
But she like dumped my head in my puke bucket, and like I was just like, she's like, you just gotta look at your vomit sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you just gotta look at your shit, and people don't want.
My
to.
God.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's just not for everyone. Like, it is a very deep transformation that happens, and I'm so grateful, and I understand it, and I get it, and like,
Yeah.
it works for me. It doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. A friend of mine was telling me that he sat in 30 ceremonies with ayahuasca, and never once has he had like a helpful experience. He never saw anything. He never got downloads. He never spoke to her. He never saw her. He never felt love. He never felt anything. He just felt sick and vomited. And I said, like, is there anything that you think was working on? Like,
Yeah.
is there anything looking back
Yeah.
at those 30 ceremonies that you think like changed? He goes, no, I honestly think it's just like, that medicine is not for me.
Wow.
And I was
It's
like,
crazy.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Jeez.
really not for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's right for you, I mean, like, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Whoops, sorry! Didn't know it was occupied. But hey, now that I've got you, maybe I can interest you in subscribing to the channel. That's Bellhop Productions, baby. If you watch this far into the video, you probably like us, so hit that subscribe button below, tap that bell, leave us a comment if you like it, leave us a bad comment if you don't. And hey, if you like more of this, we got plenty of it. We've got the Bells and Whistles podcast. That's on all different platforms. Anywhere you can listen, anywhere you can watch, it's there. And hey, if you really like us, maybe you go down there and click the link in the description to our Teespring. Get us some merch. Hey, where are you going, pal? Hey, I think you'd really like it.